Welcome. This is Ad Emmen for Primeur Magazine, and we're talking here today with Hans Ten from ClusterVision. Welcome.
Hi, my name is Hans Ten. I work as the team lead of software development at ClusterVision. And I'm responsible for developing the product Trinity within ClusterVision.
Okay, and what's Trinity about? I know Trinity as a person who was in Matrix, but probably this is something different.
Well, actually, that was one of our inspirations. But,
okay.
We developed Trinity in response to customer requests. Starting, I think, 2012, 2013, many of our existing customers came to us, approached us, and asked us about OpenStack and what can I do with that. Now, ClusterVision is a typical HPC performance-oriented specialist. And we were looking at OpenStack, which is a cloud environment, from an HPC perspective. And we started developing Trinity because we found that OpenStack, useful as it is as a tool, it's not very well suited to run HPC workloads. Within OpenStack, you don't have your InfiniBand, it's difficult to get your GPUs working, there is a performance penalty for running in virtual machines, which made it really unsuitable for our most demanding HPC customers. And there were other problems as well. So OpenStack is really difficult to deploy. Most people who tried themselves tried it many times and failed. So what we tried to do was use our experience with cluster management tools to build something around OpenStack and inside OpenStack. Around OpenStack so that it could be easily deployed, and inside OpenStack so that it could provide a virtualized cluster, a virtualized HPC cluster, which did have all the performance characteristics of the HPC cluster that our customers were accustomed to. And that's what we built with Trinity.
Okay, and is Trinity, is it only about OpenStack? Because yesterday you were presenting at a workshop around Docker. Is there also a relation between Trinity and Docker?
The relationship is that Docker is kind of like the secret ingredient in the sauce. If you're running inside a virtual machine, you will have all the performance benefit, the performance penalties. You will have the problem that you don't have direct hardware access. And if you use Docker as a virtualization layer, you can get many of the performance advantages and the flexibility advantages that you can get from running bare metal. But you also get the virtualization advantages that you can customize your environment and run a different operating system, provide different versions of libraries for different groups and different applications.
Is Trinity then something which you could say bridges OpenStack and Docker for HPC cluster?
Yes, it's
so it manages the three.
It's the bridging. Well, the Trinity is actually, I think, it was when we were a starting company. The code name for original ClusterVision OS, which is now Bright Cluster Manager, was called Trinity, I think, and we simply decided to dust off an old name. So
okay, yeah.
I don't think there is any deeper meaning.
No.
But we make a lot of puns around it.
Yeah. Okay, no, but what I mean is with Trinity you can manage OpenStack clusters for HPC, and in the clusters are then instead of virtualized with some virtualization engine with Docker. Is that the way it works, or?
Yes, that's exactly the way it works. So you have your OpenStack dashboard. You have all the capacities of a normal OpenStack environment, so you can fire up virtual machines to do non-HPC workloads. You can even run your mail server or web server inside OpenStack. But we modeled the HPC cluster as an extra resource inside the OpenStack dashboard.
Okay. And can you also then manage several clusters with OpenStack, Trinity clusters, or is it just confined to one?
No, you can manage several clusters as long as they're all known to the same Trinity cluster. You have these resources that you can simply allocate to your virtual clusters, as we call them. In OpenStack, you have the concept of a tenant. So a tenant is like the owner of a cluster. Only he just leases the cluster or a little bit of the cluster. And each tenant will have his own virtual cluster inside. And the resources can be spread out over different cluster locations as well.
Is Trinity something you have to buy from ClusterVision, or?
No. Trinity was developed at first in-house to help us install new OpenStack clusters ourselves. We soon found that for cloud to be successful, it needs to be a common and shared platform, like OpenStack itself. OpenStack is open source, so we wanted to do the same thing with Trinity. We wanted to make it open source, so everyone can download it. As a word of warning to our viewers, we are currently still rewriting the documentation so that it's no longer an in-house tool, but you can install it yourself at home. But that's, with the current state of the documentation, that's very difficult. But we plan to migrate our documentation as well to be fully open source. So you don't have to buy it from us.
Okay.
In fact, we would like help. So if you find something that doesn't suit your needs, please jump in and help us change it, and we will help you change it. So you can find Trinity in GitHub. ClusterVision has its own repository there. It's linked to the ClusterVision organization, and then find the Trinity sub-repository.
Okay. Hans, thank you very much for this interview.
Okay.
For Prima Magazine, this was Attendant Reporter.